the work for September 15th for 8th grade. So once again, just like yesterday, we're going to be working on simple and compound interest. You're going to answer question 3 by yourself, so I know that you've to check if you've mastered that skill. And then you're going to do 4, 5, and 6, which are going to help spiral in some of these activities that we're doing earlier in the year, so we can make sure that we stay skillful at that. So today we're going to take it a little bit to the next level. We are going to find specifically the opposite of what the type of interest we're using will give us. And so we did that yesterday, but now we're going to focus on questions that are specifically geared towards that. So number 1, Aurora wants to buy a new car and she needs a loan from the bank. She takes out a $21,000 loan and plans to pay it back with compound interest at a 2% rate for 10 years. How much interest will she pay? So we're going to go ahead and highlight some of this good information for us. We have $21,000. That's going to be our principal. We know we're using compound interest. We know that there's going to be a 2% rate, and we know that the time is going to be 10 years. Now we're going to look at what the question is asking us for. How much interest will she pay? So when I write the formula for compound interest, I have the total amount is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate with an exponent of the time. So I see that the answer that this formula gives us will give us the total amount. But what we're looking for is we're looking for the interest. So if we have our total amount and we're just looking for the interest, or we're just looking to see how much it went up, once we're done finding the total amount, we're going to subtract the principal. We're going to take away how much we started with, and that will leave us alone with the interest. So we're going to follow these steps. Now we're going to go ahead and replace this. So our total amount will equal 21,000 times 1 plus 0.02 with an exponent of 10. Now, if you're wondering how I got 0.02, this is what we need to do. We know that we have 2%, but we can't put that into the calculator. We have to turn this into a decimal, and we're going to do that by moving it over 1 decimal space, over 2 decimal spaces. And in this blank spot, we're going to put a 0. So that's where this 0.02 came from. So we're going to enter this into the calculator. So we have 21,000 times 1 plus 0.02 with an exponent of 10 for the 10 years. So we get $25,598.90. So the total amount is going to equal $25,598.90. But we're not looking for the total amount according to the question. We're only looking for the interest. So we have to find out how much it went up from 21,000 to 25,598.90. So a way to imagine this is, say you start with $1. 5 years later, you check your bank account and now it's at $5. How much did your bank account go up? Well, your bank account went up $4. And the way you could find that out is, how much do you have? You have $5 minus the one that you started out with. You know it went up by 4. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take how much we have, we're going to subtract how much we started with, and we're going to be left with the interest. So I'm going to subtract the $21,000 that we started with, and we're going to be left with $4,598.88. There really should be 90 cents though. So the reason this calculator isn't giving me the exact answer is because this 0.9 is not just 0.9, it's 0.9 with a bunch of decimals. It just rounded it to 0.9. So it'd actually be closer to 0.88. So once you're doing a subtraction, or whenever you're doing the subtraction or addition at the end of this, don't use the calculator. Just go ahead and subtract it like normal. That'll also show me that you're showing your work on this problem. We're going to take a look at number 2. Athena deposits $3,525 into her bank account. She makes no additional withdrawals or deposits. If her bank account earns an interest at 3.5% simple interest, how much interest does her account earn over 20 years? So I know this one has to do with simple interest, so I'm going to go ahead and write that. Interest equals principal times rate times time. I'm going to make sure that I underline or box in some of this important information. Our principal is going to be $3,525. We're using 3.5% simple interest, and our time is going to be 20 years. So when we have 3.5, I know it looks like a decimal, but it says 3.5%. And because it has that percent, I know it's still a percentage, and I have to turn it into just a decimal. So the way I'm going to do that is move it over by 2 spaces. I have 0.035, and I can get rid of that decimal, or that percentage sign. So I'm going to rewrite this now as the interest is going to be equal to 3,525 times 0.035 times our 20 years. And once again, this is going to give us the interest. Are we looking for how much interest it gives us? We're going to take a second to read the question. How much interest? So yes, this question is specifically asking for the interest. So when we complete this formula, that's what we'll get. So we don't have to do any addition or subtraction on this problem. So we're just going to go ahead and enter this into the calculator. 3,525 times 0.035 times our 20 years. So we'll get an interest of $2,467.50. $2,467.50. So that would be our final answer for this problem. Now, if it was asking us to find the total amount, then we would have to add back in what we started with. But that's not what it's asking us in this case, so that's not what we have to do. Now we're going to take a look at the rest of the problems. So number 3, Darius and James compare their bank accounts. They both start with $1,000. So that's going to be your principal for both formulas you're going to use. Darius earns 5% simple interest for 3 years, and James earns 6% simple interest for 2 years. What is the difference between the accounts when they are done earning interest? So what you're going to do is you're going to find the total amount for each account, and then you're going to go ahead and difference is telling you to subtract those accounts. Number 4, We're going to practice this skill again. We're solving to find out what x is. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit F2. We're going to go to solve. We're going to enter the equation into the calculator and we're going to click enter. Number 5, we're ordering these. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit F2. We're going to go to approximate. And then we're going to enter these, and then we're going to enter, and we're going to order these from least to greatest. So to show your work, I need you to rewrite these, the actual decimal number it comes out to, and then order them and show me how you're ordering them. Lastly, number 6 is another question about functions. And remember, each function can only have the same x value one time. So once again, this is the work for September 15th for 8th grade. Good luck.